or Metro Manila can reveal that.
I'm not asking the CCTV, I'm asking you. You should be civil enough to know that when you're asked question in the Committee of Blue Ribbon, or for that matter, any committee of this Republic, of Congress, you should be able to answer the question directly.
I already answered it.
And not, sabi mo kanina, bigla lumabas, list pala yun eh. Yung bahay doon sa Tagaytay, bahay ng tatay mo. Right?
Yes.
Alam mo masama doon, tinatanong lang kita. We have to do that. If I don't do this, I will not be doing my duty. Alright? Understand? Ang kwan lang talaga, ang matindi lang, ang daming mong binibit, kinalimutan mo yung duty mo na hanapin mo yung trabaho na kung itong mga tao ito ay talagang nabibigyan ng tama at tinignan mo kung itong mga tao ito totoo, lahat na sinabi mo ng bibit, hindi na natin makita ngayon, pero papahuli natin yan. Lahat yan, tatawagin natin at humarap dito sa committee. O, paano yan pag nagkaharapan na? So,
Mr. Chair, one quick question, Mr. Chair, just on point, Mr. Chair.
go ahead, Senator Francis.
Yes, very quickly.
All right.
Since you applied, as you say, for the position of Undersecretary of Budget and Management, did you also apply for the position of USEC sa PMS? Nobody endorsed you, nobody asked you to join the PMS, you applied? Ganun din ba ang story bro?
I applied. I'm one of the volunteers, and then when the president won, marami po kami nag-apply, mga volunteers, mga supporters, and I was one of those who were appointed. Chosen.
So nobody asked you to apply. You just applied by yourself.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And to the position of PMS.
No, Mr. Chair. Yes.
Yes.
As PMS, but I was appointed only as Undersecretary. But
Yes, Undersecretary. Nobody asked you to become Undersecretary. You applied. That's your nobody, no? Ikaw ang humingi nung Undersecretary maging Undersecretary ng Presidential Management Staff. Yun ang in-applyan mo.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Walang nagsabi sa'yo, pwede ka bang Undersecretary for PMS? Tama?
Yes, tama, Mr. Chair.
Hindi naman kapanipaniwala yung PMS. Hindi ako mag-a-apply, ikaw magsasabi na yan ang gusto kong posisyon?
Marami po
Alam mo, marami dito sa atin sa Senado, naging cabinet secretary. Gusto mo maniwala kami sa storya mo na hindi ka paniwala dahil galing na kami dyan eh. For the record, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Thank you. Well put. You have not answered the question that I asked you earlier. Why did you leave? Why did you leave the department? Suddenly.
I filed my resignation.
Why your resignation? Why did you leave?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I left because I wanted to go back to private practice and return to Davao City, Mr. Chairman.
I wanted to go back to private practice.
I
Sorry?
have 2-year-old children, so I have to go back to Davao City with my
I didn't ask you about your children. I just asked why did you leave?
First reason
May pasyal. Di ba totoo, umalis ka dyan, di ba, ang sinasabi ko, ito ang nagiging suspetsya ko, parang may grandiose plan yan eh. Nag-iikutan lang kayo, nag-musical chairs lang kayo, o ikaw naman dito, ikaw dyan, tapos para hindi tayo madali, mag-apply ka ngayon sa ombudsman para hindi tayo madadali. Palagay mo, totoo yun?
That is not
You don't have to answer. You don't have to answer. That is a conclusion that any person who's sane can conclude because you are so lucky. Lahat ng pwesto na gusto mong kunin, nakuha mo. At you want to make us believe, yung Secretary General, naging Secretary of Labor, naging Secretary. Ha? O si Secretary Pagayera, naging Secretary of Agriculture. I was Secretary of Tourism. And by the way, when I was Secretary of Tourism, I asked the President of the Government of Arroyo, I said, I really don't want the job, but if you want me, I'll take it, but please don't appoint anybody that will not work with me. Yung Undersecretary of Tourism. And you're trying to tell us to make us believe that you were appointed without clearance from Secretary Abisado? Excuse me, sir. You are in the wrong you're in the wrong panel. So, let me just finally conclude talagang we really have a problem here. And it would appear that there will be a lot of things to be answered. And we will, I really want to finish this investigation. What is the pressure of the body? Do you want to conclude already? Can we already conclude? Because we still have a big problem as Senator Subiri said, and if we're going to have the same thing over and over again in terms of getting supplies, di pa kami nagtatanong, pag nabili kayo, di ba may isang kayong bodega all over the country. Is that correct? Pag nabili kayo, dadalhin yung mga binili niya sa mga bodega, tapos i-distribute yan sa mga ospital. Tama po ba yan, Mr. Lloyd Lau?
With respect to common supplies, Mr. Chair, yes, we do.
Excuse me, sir?
With respect to common supplies, yes, we do have.
What do you mean with respect to common supplies? Lahat ng supplies nyo, dadalhin nyo na sa bodega na pinakamalapit, I suppose. Ako rin, meron ganyan eh.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Para nakahanda na doon. Nakahanda na, naka-pre-positioning ang tawag doon.
Yes,
Ano
Mr. Chair.
sinasabi mong common supplies? Would you say that all these things are, yung face shield ba, common supply yan?
Yes, it was declared as common supplies, Mr. Chair.
By whom?
By GPPB.
You heard earlier that the only country that does it, I think it was from Senator Lacson, that the only country that demands that we buy face shields is the Philippines. Baka susunod, maglalagay na kayo ng wiper para mas mahal sa face shield. So,
Mr. President, Mr. Chairman,
so ang tinatanong ko ngayon sa iyo, paano mo nasiguro na deliver yun? Paano mo nasiguro na walang, have there been any instance where you found that there was short delivery?
I think the inspector division can answer that, but yes, sometimes they find that there are over deliveries.
My question is directed to you. As head of that department, you will run amok, you will pull hair because hindi dumating ang delivery na pinapadeliver mo. Pagdating doon, hindi nyo alam kung na-deliver. Did you ever bother to check kung na umaabot yung mga deliver nyo doon?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we send communications, we send inspection teams from PSDBM, and we also send.
But you said there were occasions when kulang.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. And
Give me an example of those occasions.
I cannot recall, Mr. Chair. It's subject to reports of inspection team, and I think they are the best who can answer it because they are the ones in charge.
No. You are the head. The buck stops with you. Di mo narinig si President Biden? I ordered the troops out preemptorily and the buck stops here. Ikaw ang nag-order, ikaw ang bumili, dapat siguro yung umabot sa mga tao, mga kababayan natin. Eh,
Mr.
sabi
Chairman,
yung occasion na gano'n, anong ginawa mo? Pina-imbestiga mo ba?
when there is a
You see, this is the problem. You don't have to answer anymore. I really am tired. Even evasive, you keep changing your positions, hindi ba mo alam kung sino mag-appoint sa'yo, paano ka na-appoint. Ang dami mo sinasabi. You see, this is the product of somebody who's being appointed, who's obviously doesn't have the best interest of his country at heart, especially in the middle of a pandemic. You've got to have the passion to make sure may passion ka, may malasakit ka na lahat ng bibili ng gobyerno talagang sulit. Sulit na aabot sa tao, na makakagamot sa tao, makakatulong sa tao. I don't see that in you, sir. And I'm very sorry you went to the Ateneo de Davao. I also went to Ateneo de Manila. It doesn't really matter. Because what you learn from the Jesuits, you keep in your heart. Maybe you were absent when the Jesuits were teaching, good moral conduct or something like that. I'm sorry. I mean, I get overly passionate when it comes to these things. But anyway, I think I'm done with this witness. Yes, Senator Dillon.
if you are done with the witness, there are a number of other personalities where we requested for a subpoena to be issued. You did. We couldn't find these people. Can we have after today just one hearing, just to attempt and bring those people we subpoenaed look for them and bring them just for one more hearing if we can make an attempt to look for these people.
Yes, sir. September 7 is the date. September 7, 2021, 10 a.m. Thursday.
Okay, fine, fine, sir.
Or Tuesday, sorry, Tuesday. You see, Mr. Lloyd, I also prepare ahead, knowing that my peers here are going to be as sharp as razors.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Senator Pangilinan.
Yes, we also requested that the technical group that would assess the specifications of the purchases of the masks be invited. We'd like to know their role and how they went about ensuring that the purchases from Farmally and these other entities were of quality of U.S. grade. So we would like to have them in the next hearing on September 7th, Mr. Chair.
The DOH personnel, right? Because you're the ones who requested. They will want to know whether the equipment arrived or the yung mga gamit dumating, di ba?
Yes,
Yes,
you're right, Mr. Chairman, if I may. We will make sure that they will attend the next hearing.
Can you tell us who are they? Who they are?
We will give the list, Mr. Chairman, and also the team that did the specifications, that prescribed the specifications.
Mr. Chair, there is also a DBMPS team, my understanding, apart from the DOH. So we have them both so that we can check on how the processing or how the checking the quality and ensuring that these standards.
I'm trying to do my due diligence here. We want to make sure we invite the right parties.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Secretary Visado, who are the right parties to invite in DBM concerning this matter?
Si Executive Director would know because they're the ones, he's the one designating the team from PSDBM, Mr. Chairman, Your Honor.
Well, we to do so at great risk. Because maraming kasama dyan eh. So, Director Wayan, Executive Director Wayan, are you suggesting kung sino yung mga papadala mo na para mag-testify dito sa September 7?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we will submit the names, Mr. Chair, of the Inspection Division Chairman at the time of the procurement, and as well as the Vice Chairman, the Vice Chief, rather.
Do you have names?
The Division Chief at that time is no longer connected with...
Call him, Steve. I can call him. Even if he's no longer connected.
Yes, yes, I know, Mr. Chair. I'm just laying the predicate, Mr. Chair.
Nice to know that somebody knows how to lay the predicate as well.
Yes, it's Mr. George Mendoza and Mervin Tangkintik, Mr. Chairman.
Melvin Tangkintik is the name of a Mapua player before it was the headache of the Ateneo basketball team. Anyway, Mr. Tangkintik and Mr. Mendoza. What's the president, Mr. Mendoza?
George, Mr. Chairman.
George Mendoza. And currently, who are these members of the inspection team?
It is currently headed by Engineer Augusto Ilagan, Mr. Chairman, and the Vice Division Chief is still the same, Mr. Mervin Tangkintik.
In which case, we are going to call all these gentlemen. So ordered. Will the Director General please issue the proper subpoena and subpoena duces secum if necessary?
Yes, Your Honor.
And also for the Department of Health. Secretary Duque, do you have the names of your people?
I'm having it listed down, Your Honor, and we will comply with the subpoena.
Well, I don't know how you can comply. We have the names. I need the names para Director General Kimbo can give the proper subpoena to the addressees.
Yeah, I am told, Mr. Chairman, that they're compiling the documents that will evidence the
names that constituted the inspection team and the team that prescribes the specifications.
Secretary Duque, are you satisfied with the fact that you know that you need to clean up the GN stables, so to speak, the process?
Yeah, there's a lot more to do, Your Honor. It's just that, as I've said earlier, the circumstances are really quite challenging, very difficult indeed. And we had to balance between the necessity to provide immediately the supplies and protect lives and our healthcare workers with the much needed personal protective equipment and life-saving supplies as well. There's a way of doing things. We're learning from this, and we need to document all of this, Mr. Chairman. It's going to be a good learning experience for the next generation.
Okay. I'm trying to ask you a question concerning we can't be just fighting fires. This is my final question. Secretary Duque, we're fighting fires right now. You know, Senator Subira says 17,000 a day. The other day it was 18,000. The other day before that, it went down and it went up. And I know that maybe in the first week of September, it will probably start going down. Would that be correct, sir?
That is a projection, but there's a lot to be considered. We will have to look at the mobility, whether there has been, well, first of all, the 2 week ECQ, the effect of this will be felt perhaps by second week of September. And it all also depends on the intensified implementation of our prevention, detection, isolation, treatment, reintegration, and very importantly, ramping up vaccination, Mr. Chairman.
Would you be in favor, and I'm going now to in aid of legislation, of creating an executive legislative commission to reimagine and reform all government regulatory processes in the light of the continuing destruction of governance caused by the pandemic?
Yes, certainly, Mr. Chairman.
Because we can't expect things to go back to pre-pandemic days in 2019. And I think, quite frankly, it is time to envision a government that is not locked in old mindsets, bureaucratic red tape and corruption, and impossible regulatory regimes. If we are to build back better, that visioning process starts now. We cannot afford to spend all our time putting out fires and reacting to events. We have to be proactive. Do you agree?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman, we support that.
In other words, all government transactions, including government for citizens like licenses, birth, and death certificates, driver's license. In other words, we're going to change the lifestyle. The world, the pandemic is changing the way the world does its work. You know, courts now go on what we're doing right now on Zoom, and then you have to come up and say people don't have to go personally now to go to agencies to get their official documents, and processing time should be 72 hours or less. By way of the internet, you can get things moving without having to push people, right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
I'm saying that because people go abroad and they need to make sure that they have their certificates of vaccination properly cleared. And you can do that because we have done that, and we share all our records on testing in the Red Cross, and all vaccination that we do also goes to the Department of Health. Since it's in the net already, when they start to go abroad or work abroad, you have to come out and make sure that they are not delayed, right?
Yes, Your Honor, and certainly I say yes to all the efficiencies that can be generated with innovation and new ways of doing things.
Yeah. Do you think that now it's time to shift to pre-audit when it comes to these emergencies that are happening to us, or would that delay?
That needs to be studied, Mr. Chairman. What's the trade-off? If we do pre-audit, it might stymie efforts to accelerate the procurement, and on the other hand, the post audit is also difficult. In fact, this is the regime under which the COA operates, no? And most government agencies. So talagang post audit tayo. So maganda rin yung may pre-audit eh. I would support that as well, but it needs to be studied further, Mr. Chairman.
Let me also ask you, is it the time that PhilHealth be completely automated na para mas mabilis yung bayaran at makikita kung talagang may dayan?
Yes, sir. Yeah, tama po kayo. Maganda talaga yung automate. It is the largest social protection institution of government. It has I think it's 95 million persons, and you need a huge database to be able to accommodate this and run PhilHealth efficiently. And transactions will be streamlined and faster turnaround time in terms of claims payment, and so that hospitals' cash flow will not be heavily burdened.
And all claims, legal transactions should be integrated in personal electronic medical records nationwide. One person, one record. Hindi ba dapat magawa na yan?
Yes, sir. Ginagawa naman po. Yung alam talaga, yung kakulangan pa, there is an ISSP, the Information System Strategic Plan. It's being updated, and the thing is, we really need to sit down and get the major components put together and integrate the systems nationwide. Dapat gano'n eh. Yung lahat po ng database, lahat po ng mga payments, claims, all the processes, dapat may integration talaga.
Let me go something close to everybody's hearts. The children, they can't go to school, or if they go to school, it's still yin and yang pa so far. But if they go to school, what sort of protection measures have you prepared? Have we predicted what could happen? For example, nutrition will be one of the big problems. Are we going to feed them in school? Are we going to vaccinate them in school, 12-year-old kids? These are things that we have to decide. Are we going to be able to get the vaccines right away? Are we going to use our connections with America, Japan, and other countries to see to it that we can get some purchase insofar as makakuha tayo ng mga vaccine para matulungan natin ang mga tao, at maghahanda ba tayo pag nag-booster shot yung Amerika at yung mga bansa, mauubusan tayo naman ng vaccine shots.
Mr. Chairman,
Is there a contingency plan for that already?
yes, Mr. Chairman, we're preparing piloting for schools. In fact, the President has agreed yesterday, but he is awaiting the IETF recommendation in the face-to-face conduct of classes in very, very low-risk areas. So we will identify these areas, the IETF and its panel of experts will come up with a recommendation. I think September, I don't know, the second week of September. So that's one. Yung doses for children, yeah. The goal is to really inoculate all Filipinos. And the Department of Finance has in fact prepared a 45 billion peso budget one of the considerations is really to inoculate children, but we need to wait for sufficient data to ensure protection and safety and efficacy of the vaccines.
I will call, don't worry, please, I will call our expert later on and see whether he agrees with what we're saying here. Are you going to make sure that the children will be vaccinated? Of course, they're already happening in the States. And at the same time, you're going to have to make sure that we're able to get the vaccines. I'd like to talk to General Galvez. Do you think we can get the vaccines for our children already?
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, the deliveries for the Pfizer is intended for children. It will be delivered in October. And the panel expert panel said to us that maybe by the date of end of September or October, they will have a decision ready, and they have already sufficient data.
That would be great.
Yes, sir, and also Moderna, also they have a trial, and also Sinovac, they have already have an EUA from China that they can use it 3 years old and above. And we're looking on these three vaccines for the children.
Yes, looking back at their experience in COVID, it seems that no government was really that fast, except those who had money. But I liken ourselves to Japan at the turn of the century when they were still wearing kimonos and swords, and they realized that the world has passed them by, and in less than 40 years they sunk the Russian fleet in the Battle of Tsushima. And insofar as this is concerned, we really have to play not just catch-up basketball or catch-up, methodology. We really have to move very, very fast. Use technology now, which most of the countries are using. Use technology. Send our doctors and our nurses and your technicians abroad and find out what they're doing to make sure that you mobilize the technology to service our country, make it more efficient, make make our people a lot more healthy, and not just be reactive, but certainly long-term planning to make sure that our people will be safe. Would you agree with that right away?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
In other words, we're not going to pin our hopes back to the past that was so slow and efficient. We're going to create our own future, provided all of us get together and make sure that we know where the visions are, right? Because where there's no vision, people perish. And that is what we need to do here. And all the old bad habits of the past. Loyalty based on friendships, based on geography, must be gone. And it must be get the creme de la creme, get the best of our people, get the best doctors, get the best engineers, and get the best government people to run this country very, very well. Would that be a good deal to do?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman.
All right, speaking about that, I promised Senator Zubiri, yes, Dr. Liachon, you have 10 minutes to make your presentation. Please proceed, post stage.
Mr. Chairman, before we recognize Dr. Lechon, I agree with you on the children. I have friends whose children have been hit by COVID, and one of them is Dr. Steve Lim, and his son, 15 years old now, has pneumonia. And that is how mabagsik, no, itong Delta ito, so Delta virus. So I'll be very worried about opening face-to-face classes in the meantime, because the kids can get seriously ill now with this new Delta variant, Mr. Chairman. And I hope that they can bring in the vaccines so that we can start inoculating children as well, whether it's Pfizer or Moderna. Pero kailangan i-vaccinate na natin. I have young kids, Chairman, and I would die if something would happen to them. I would just collapse. It is the worst thing. And I think everyone here has children or grandchildren, and they understand what it means. And we don't want this virus to cripple our children as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
But of course, I missed something else, Senator Zubiri, booster shot. Or do you think we can do booster shot, or we gotta run out of money?
We need, Mr. Chairman, we need to have booster shots. The WHO came out today saying that we're going to have to live with this virus. It's just in the news. I just watched it 2 minutes ago. He said that we're going to have to live with this virus. It's not going to leave us.
Thank you,
So
Dr.
we have to have booster shots. We cannot just have a one-time vaccine and next year we get it and we die.
Yes,
I hope
yes.
that not happen.
I agree wholeheartedly with my good friend, Dr. Zubiri. We need the booster shots. What is your reaction to that? Do you see a time where we can buy Pfizer now in America? After all, it's now been officially off the emergency list, and now we can buy it. Do you see that because now it's more profitable, then perhaps hindi na masyado mahirapan yung can afford, can buy it for themselves? Moderna, Pfizer, everything, pero yung pera na para sa mga tao natin, hindi na bibigyan yung mga may kaya, bibigyan natin yung mga mahihirap at mga bata. Okay ho ba yung takbo natin na papunta ron, Chairman Galvez?
Sir, actually, sir, I think the possibility, sir, that most likely if Pfizer will apply for full authorization in the Philippines, most likely to apply this September. Maybe FDA can approve it on October.
Sinagot ako niya ng FDA kahapon yan, isang araw. At sabi nila, pati Moderna raw, nag-a-apply na, so kailangan bilisan natin. Kasi there's in.
And actually, sir, we are prepared for the boosters because there are many companies that already made some insinuations. That is one of our strategy for this pandemic.
That's correct. A final question, Secretary Duque, when you're testing, how often should one test? For doctors, we test them in the Red Cross once every 2 weeks. Yung mga doktor ninyo sa public hospitals in Metro Manila at least. And we can do that in the provinces. But how often will we test? Again, I say, the vaccines must be, the tests must be free, paid for by the government. That's what I mean. It should be paid for by the government so that we really put this disease at bay. You think that's possible? Of course, binabayaran na yan ngayon ng PhilHealth. Kailangan siguro talaga mabawasan yung corruption para mapupunta yan dyan sa mga kailangan bigyan ng bakuna. Magamit natin ng pera para makalabas na tayo sa kahirapan na dinadala sa ating bansa at makaumpisa na tayo makapagkaroon ng buhay. Among other things, kailangan rin baguhin natin yung the way we go to work, the way we ride our buses, bicycles, which is Pia Cayetano's baby. I agree with that. And certainly, yung distancing in ways, even in Vietnam, they sleep, they don't go home anymore so that they don't pass, they don't transmit. All these things should really be taken up in this legislative executive summit that we should have for our country. Don't you think so, gentlemen, Dr. General Galvez and Secretary Duque?
Yes, certainly, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Secretary Galvez, do you think this is possible or this is all a pipe dream?
Yes, sir. I think it's possible, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, because I will be awakened. I should be awakened because otherwise we'll have more nightmares to come. Okay, Dr. Liachon, proceed.
Yeah,
Represented by Senator Zubiri.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Gordon, thank you. Honorable senators and members of the cabinet, colleagues, I'll just make a very brief presentation on the rationalization of vaccine supply in the Delta variant environment. So this would be just a very short 10-minute presentation. I'd like to present a snapshot of the global and the Philippine COVID data and addressing the Delta and the other variants of concern. And what is the success story for India, considering it had 400,000 cases and now right now it's just about 40,000. And then how do we rationalize our vaccine portfolio in relation to the Delta variant? And of course, in the Senate and the Congress, we need this particular August body right now to create certain laws. And with some stakeholders, we crafted this particular pandemic checklist. So right now we have 205 million cases all over the world with 4 million deaths, and leading that is of course US, India, and Brazil, and then Russia, France, UK, and Turkey. Now with the three successful countries who have actually achieved vaccination at around 60%, but because of the Delta variant, they actually have this resurgence like Israel and the United States and of course the United Kingdom. So we call this the breakthrough infections, and we need to address this as well. Particularly, we are in this particular surge. Now, this is actually from India. In April, they had this particular case of 400,000 cases and 4,000 deaths. That's a staggering number. And look at this particular downward trajectory. It's almost a flat line right now. This is 46,000 cases a day. So this one really intrigued most of us. Why? Bakit ganun? Ang India, akala natin ba the epicenter of the world, and yet ito successful. So we need to look at this. Now, this is the Philippines, and got this from, of course, from Edson Guido. We had 3 surges before. The long lockdown, and then with the reopening economy, and then we have a very long quiescent period. And then with the arrival of the variants, the UK or South Africa, we reached the peak around 50,000, and then with the ECQ, they have a downward trajectory. But of course, we did not manage it well because we need to manage it around 2,000 cases. Then we opened the economy, and then with the Delta variant here, we're trying to control this with the surge. Now, this is actually yesterday, but I got the number today. So we had right now 17,000 cases, and we have 26% positivity rate. That's very high, all-time high. And it means that 1 in every 4 Filipinos will be positive. We have right now increased testing at 70,000. Our target is about 100,000. And then we have increasing number of cases. But what is really very, very sad here is about the healthcare utilization. We are high risk right now po. Ang high risk po is defined as more than 70%, both at the national level at sa national capital region. In America, US, and Israel, they're only using 2 parameters. The level of the positivity rate, because mag-i-increase ang cases, marami pong mamamatay, at puno po ang mga hospital. So, ngayon po, of course, we know that we are in a record high, 18,000 last week, last Friday, and this is because of the Delta variant. And this is actually declared by our Department of Health. Now, tingnan po natin ngayon, kasi importante sa ating strategy, aside from what Secretary Duque told us, but to simplify, it's actually testing, tracing, and vaccination. 54% po ng ating bakuna is actually Sinovac, and you can see here sprinklings of the other vaccines. This is important in the light of the Delta variant because a variant can actually be highly transmissible and render some of the vaccines ineffective. Now, this is actually a pie chart to tell us that most of our orders are actually Sinovac. And I'm just trying to tell you, honorable senators, that 50% of our orders are actually on Sinovac. Now, what is the problem with this? And this is what we got from the National Task Force. So consistent with the number, 48,000. All right, we have this 408,000 doses. And our current vaccination rate is 12%, very far from the herd immunity, which is basically 70% of the population. Now, this is coming from the vaccine expert panel. And there are only 5 vaccines that will be effective for the Delta variant. And this is based on their efficacy rate, this particular column. What are these 5 vaccines that will be effective? Okay, Pfizer, effective for the Delta variant. AstraZeneca, effective for the Delta variant. And then Moderna, effective for the Delta variant. Janssen, effective for the Delta variant. And one particular vaccine coming from India, this is effective for the Delta variant. There are no published report for Sinovac and of course for Sputnik. So yun po ang nakikita natin na, are we ordering the right vaccines? Considering we're dealing with the Delta variant, po yun eh. Kasi kaya magkakaroon po tayo ng problema sa breakthrough infections na nangyayari sa Amerika. Even in America, 93% of their cases right now ay sinasabi pong Delta variant. And they're using high-quality vaccines like Pfizer, and they're using Moderna, and of course Johnson & Johnson. Now, ang Covaxin, according to an expert panel of the DOST, Dr. Rodion Solante, the head of the infectious disease section of the San Lazaro, pwede daw po yan gamitin. Sa another perspective, using the Indian model. Now, this is Professor Gloriani. Nina Gloriani is the head of the vaccine expert panel. And she said that we're not just talking about the Delta variant here. So far, the Sinovac has data on the efficacy on the Alpha, the UK, and the South Africa. They have at least, I think, 6-fold reduction. Kasi pag po, gumamit po kayo ng bakuna, nababawasan po yung tapang ninyo. But they have no data on the Delta variant, which have affected the Indonesians, the India, and other countries. So ito yung napaka-importante so that we can project what particular vaccines will be effective in the future. Very important siya. Now, we know for a fact, and I believe Secretary Duque and Secretary Galvez by saying the wealthiest country is the 40% of the orders and only 11% of the population. But look at India right now. Kahit kukonte, they are able to produce and maybe perhaps after their success, they can actually give us some of the vaccines. But look at this particular slide, and the country of origin of the Delta variant is actually India. And look at the downward trajectory at this point in time. Now, we look at the data coming from Covaxin, and I got this also from some of the experts. They have the largest efficacy trial in India. They have also effect on moderate and severe disease. And this can actually be believed. Ito po ay na-approval na po rin ng US ng ating local FDA by DG Eric Domingo last April. Ang problema po, last April, right now August pa po, wala po tayong procurement dito. Of course, we don't know the particular situation, but if you look at Carito Solutions, this is one particular solution that we can actually provide for our countrymen. Now, ano ang success factors nila? From 450,000 cases, bumaba sila sa 25,000. So how did India decrease the surge? It's actually a rapid or a blitzkrieg vaccination drive, massive testings, and of course tracing. And the vaccination drive is important to reduce the hospitalization. And it is important. Look at this particular number. India reached a record-breaking 8 million doses in June 2021. A record 9.2 million doses in June 2021 and an average of 5 million doses per day. Now, according to the CDC, with the Delta variant, we need around 85 to 90% herd immunity. Hindi na po pwede po daw yung sinasabi natin herd immunity na people's protection with 50% because the dynamics nag-iba po right now because of the Delta variant. So, ang target before natin is 70%, but this may not be effective in the presence of a Delta variant. And herd immunity will actually prevent the viral transmission. So, in terms of the regulatory process benchmarking with the rest of the world, ang Philippines may procurement process but many safeguards to ensure the safety vaccines are introduced. However, these built-in safeguards can also lengthen the process of procurement. And our requirements to purchase the vaccines will emanate from this. You have an EUA approved in April, you have the HCAC recommendation, but there's no clear time for approval of the process. The multiplier party agreement with the NTF, no clear timeline as well. And many, of course, of the private sector stakeholders, and even, of course, the LGUs are waiting for the signature of the NTF or DLS on this one. Many countries have actually streamlined their application on this, and several things have been done in order to fast track the registration. Now, this is actually my last slide, and this has been the product of the stakeholders, particularly the medical experts, and I'm sure this has been discussed by Senator Gordon, particularly the second one. The first one is, of course, to legislate ventilation, and of course, pre-testing for essential workers, and then perhaps getting a contact tracing from the best practices like South Korea or Singapore, and increase our internet access. Create a network of health facilities from barangay to tertiary hospitals. We are doing that right now, but we need to do more because these are the heroes of this particular pandemic. We need to hire and improve the healthcare workers, provide timely and complete case data. There should be no late submission, real time, because we're dealing with the pandemic. We need to provide clear and consistent messaging, and of course, improve safety in the mass transportation, and keep the vaccination process simple and transparent, and provide economic stimulus and relief. So with that, in summary, Mr. Chairman, India's model country has demonstrated that testing, pre-testing, contact tracing, and rapid vaccination work. Delta variant is the greatest game changer in the world. It has actually changed the landscape of management. And right now, the herd immunity should not actually sit on 50 or even 70, but we have to target 85 to 90%. The Philippines needs a multiple vaccine procurement plan ASAP to address the rapid surge of the Delta variant. And rapid vaccination is an imperative to achieve the herd immunity ASAP, leading to reopening of the economy. So I'll stop there, Mr. Chairman and dear senators. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you. Let's be fast because it's getting late. Thank you very much, Dr. Lenson, for a very succinct presentation. I think Secretary Galvez also wants to make a presentation. I don't know if it's any joiner. I hope you can make the trains meet if there's any disagreement. Go ahead, please.
There's some disagreement on the Indian model because I think the good the one that they use predominantly. I've been in India for no, for almost 3 days to study their model. Their commission is only basically 21 million, 0.25, being used by only 5 countries. I believe with 1.3 billion, 21 million is not negligible in terms of really looking at the data that is better than Delta. So meaning most of the studies that I have read and also we presented to the FDA that really Pfizer and also AstraZeneca works against though it is limited. It's just efficacy is limited to negative 10 to 20 or 30. And I believe based on the real world data, Sinovac also is working, especially in PGH. I have the data of PGH that it works against that and also against serious diseases. As of now, I have the report of the PGH director, Dr. Ga, and I can show you that all vaccinated, there is no people that have been intubated with vaccination of AstraZeneca and also Sinovac. Meaning all vaccines that we have procured they work against Delta. In terms of what I call it the severity and also in hospitalization, considering that the majority of those hospitalized are 85 to 75%, and based on the data of PGS that's submitted to me yesterday, it shows that there is no vaccinated people that has been intubated. And I believe Covishield, the data of Covishield is still I have some expert from WHO. They said that Covishield is still not active. And I believe, considering that Sinovac has an EUL, WHO, it is more significant to say that Sinovac works in them. I have a strong feeling that all our vaccines that we have procured, including Sputnik, considering Sputnik, they have some sort of initial protections. Even the first dose, there is some reports that even the first dose they have initial protection because Sputnik has already an efficacy of 70 to 83 first dose. That's why the FDA has already approved Sputnik 9 with all single dose. I believe also Johnson works on the variant because Johnson is second generation vaccine. It was tested on different variants, including South Africa, UK, and also Delta variants. I believe I'm not an expert, but I can say that for the meantime, the real world says, and then the PGH and also the scientific society, all of our healthcare workers are vaccinated by Sinovac and AstraZeneca. And we have never heard any casualty on our more than 1.7 healthcare workers. That's what I also say. But I am not an expert, but that's the real observation that I have.
Mr. Chairman.
We really have to start going. Very quick repose. Are you going to have a repose, Dr. Lecha?
Yes, sir.
The same things and just a slight degree of the differences.
Mr. Chairman, I concur with the Secretary of this. What I'm trying to propose is that the preferential choice of our country is more on the Chinese vaccine. I'm not saying that it is not effective, but based on what we have right now in the best countries, even in the US, we need to try the vaccine procurement process. And that's why on September 20, President Joe Biden started with their booster dose. So a booster dose would be a higher efficacy rate than the current vaccines that we have. And that's the reason that we're working on this.
You mean just saying Moderna and Pfizer, for example, that's what you mean by multi-dose?
We need to procure vaccines with higher efficacy rate than our present crop or portfolio. And with this, with the Pfizer, Moderna, Janssen, and Janssen, we need to go through the channels, particularly the Pfizer, has actually secured the FDA approval for commercial use. So what the DG of the FDA should do is actually get the regulatory approvals so that we can fast track right now the Pfizer arrival here, and then we can actually do, of course, prioritization of the senior citizen, the comorbid conditions, and even the children. We need to move on that particular angle. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to understand also the booster doses. We need to plan also for the mix and match. And other countries like our OFW, when they go to certain countries, some of the boxes that we are using are not actually honored by those countries. We need to project this kind of particular situation, and we should not be actually boxed in a certain situation that in the long run, when we have the surge, we are left with one option only. We need to have multiple vaccine options, sir.
Alright,
I think,
very quickly.
afterwards, go ahead. Sir, I think the relationship data is faulty. Is claiming the bulk of orders signed up. Actually, we have a bigger order with Pfizer, 14 million. We have also ordered from Moderna, 20 million. Our order with Sinovac is only 26 million. But remember, our main problem is steady supply. Our supply for Moderna and Pfizer will only pick up on the fourth quarter. And what we will do now, if you are recommending for accelerated, massive, and even rapid vaccination, how can you vaccinate with only 7 doses, 7 million doses available in September? So I think your premise is that we have only ordered Sinovac. We have ordered seven types of vaccine. J&J, there is a problem of their associated, Johnson might give us
My attitude is every vaccine has its efficacy.
Yes,
There's vaccine, that's fine. If Sinovac is good to defend, that's fine. The important thing is vaccinate right away and then go into other things that can boost the health of our country. But in the meantime, it's not the policy of beggars cannot be choosers. But really, let's get it done right away para at least there's a measure of defense whatsoever. And eventually we can actually move on forward. Senator, Mr. Jerry, quickly please. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, very quickly, Mr. Chairman, I have a question for Secretary Galvez. What is the total number of vaccine doses that we have procured and booked for delivery? Yung total talaga. Maski na bakuna, yung total number. Donated and bought.
Isa sa natin, if COVAX will supply 49 million, including the 5 million that we ordered.
No, hindi naman na yung if, yung talagang book na for delivery. At saka yung procure na.
As reported by DOJ, the DOF last night, we have booked already 194 million.
194.
Yes, most of them are we have 40 million Pfizer.
This is the total number.
Yes, 40 million Pfizer, 20 million Moderna. We have 26 million Sinovac. We have 10 million from Sputnik, and 49 million for COVAX. And we have ordered also another 10 million for September for Sinovac, and another 10 million for October, because we will have some sort of depleting and depleting supply. If you will not order another 10 or 20 million of Sinovac.
Pero yung siguradong order total is 194. Yung sigurado na.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe, based on our vaccine expert panel, all vaccine works on their own. Meron silang characteristic that even offset others, and also they are all useful. They are all useful even to the lions.
So this is good for
recipients, ano?
Yes, sir. For 110 people, considering that most of if you will buy this one dose, then 10 million of changes sa already 10 million.
But of course, may allowance 95% sa spoilage. And of course, yung mga lumalaktaw na nag-booster sa third shot. Di ba mayroong mga gano'n?
Sir, we
Kasama sa 5% yun?
yes, sir, we are accounted for 5%, but we are very happy that our waste is only 0.002.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Sir,
Just one moment. Secretary Gutierrez. Very quickly.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to manifest and second what Secretary Galvez said. We already have evidences for Sinovac. And just recently, there's this study wherein 10,000 plus people were vaccinated with Sinovac. And it showed 100% efficacy or protection against severe infection. So we just like to mention that because we know that this might erode the confidence of our public because this is being live streamed and statements of Mr. Reaction can be very risky for the confidence that we are now having for vaccination.
I don't think that was his intention. He's just saying what is best. And certainly, I followed it up. You heard me that a vaccine will protect. Vaccine protects. Doesn't matter which. Better to have a vaccine than not at all. And get the best as much as you can in accordance with what our pocketbook can get. Actually, you always try to get the best. But as far as I'm concerned, we're on the right track here. Dr. Leachon, very quickly.
yes sir, what they're trying to project, sir, is the vaccine nationalism. Kasi eventually, sir, that dapat meron tayong sense of vision. The stocks are in order natin right now, but if America and the rest of the world would need it, then America will actually be having a difficulty getting the vaccine sending out to the rest of the world. We're trying to project dito lahat ng vaccine effective. But we're thinking right now kung bakit ang ibang countries ay nag-booster doses. Like for example, Indonesia shifting from Sinovac, let's say, to Astra, like Chile and other countries. We're trying to say the reality. Kaya ang sinasabi ko clear and transparent messaging. All the vaccines gamitin natin with the backdrop that later on we will need a booster dose for all the vaccines that we have right now. Given the efficacy rate, and then later on, yun ang sinasabi natin. Now, if we're going to plan for the future, then we're really left out right now, or there is some vaccines that may not be effective for the Delta variant. That's what I'm saying. We have to maximize our portfolio right now, and in position each particular vaccine on the strength of their particular attributes. Okay, yun lang po, Senator.
You're on the same page actually, but it's just a question of just be careful because they might swing away from vaccine na sabi mo medyo low efficacy. As far as I'm concerned, yung mga nakikinig dyan, lahat ng vaccine okay. Kung makukuha nyo na, kunin nyo na. Okay, makikita. Tinamaan kayo, wala kayo nagpipipesa. May vaccine ka na, tinamaan ka pa eh. Kaya dapat mabuting may vaccine ka para sa ganun, kahit tinamaan ka, may labang ka. Yun lang sinang-follow natin. And if you can get the best, dapat gawin natin the best. Kaya kailangan planuhin natin ito. As a country, hindi yung lahat magaling o lahat ng mga magaling. Ang importante talaga yung tao ang iniisip natin para may angat natin sila sa kanilang. I now would like to call Secretary Cayetano because she came back. And she's back too for evening wear. Go ahead, Pia. Senator Pia.
So I just been listening intently throughout the day, Mr. Chairman. I won't pose any more questions at this point. I'll wait till the next round. But I do just want to emphasize a few points that were taken up earlier regarding PhilHealth and the payment of claims. On that note, I don't think PhilHealth realizes that the objective of the president when he asked the president to look at President Gerland to look at the false payment, it did not mean that not to attend to everything else, including not giving the payment to the valid payment, or the chairperson was correctly emphasizing that the claim to these hospitals should be made. So that's one point that I wanted to confirm with the good chairperson. And then on the vaccination, I also share a little bit of concern that there the impression given that Sinovac is not effective, and I also want to just ensure that, we should just be careful. I know we're trying to be candid, and this is a fact-finding body, but when the general public hears that there were statements that somehow gave me the impression that it shouldn't be, Sinovac should not be given advice, I just also wanted to be sure that we're clear about that, which was made here, as His Honor, our chairperson was saying that was not the intention. So I just also wanted to relate, because I'm a vaccine advocate and I know how hard it is to get people. So yun lang naman, sinesepan ko lang yung statement ng share natin na hindi naman yun ang intention. So the other, Mr. Chair, I will just wait for the next round because most of them have been mentioned, and I'll show my support because I will defend the budget of DOH. So all of these questions are helpful to me. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for staying alert and full of humor until this late hour.
Well, we have to, otherwise we'll go crazy. I just want to point out that to everybody, lahat na nakikinig sa labas, hindi natin na lahat tayong hinihingi siya dito. Wala na po nakasinungaling talaga. I think DOH is trying very hard to help us here in this country. Hindi naman ganang malaki ang namatay sa atin eh. At kahit naman paano nakatulong naman ang mga doktor natin. I think it's important. Alam talaga kung saan. We know how to fix the blame very well, but we don't know how to fix the problem. And even Secretary Duque doesn't have the franchise on solving the problem. It's got to be all of us helping one another. Kung di tayo magtutulong-tulong, lalaki ang problema. So, hindi ito ang purpose ng investigation na ito. Isa talagang proteksyonan ng tao. Ang tao dapat na proteksyonan. Hindi pagalingan ito. Proteksyonan natin ng tao na makakuha siya ng walang kailangan gawin. Yung kanilang dapat sa mga nurses, sa mga caregivers natin, sa mga health natin. Mabigyan sila ng tama para hindi sila gamitin. I want to announce here right now, Mix May is my vice chairman in the Red Cross, and I want to say this, that because of bumaba na yung mga presyo at tinitignan natin kung talagang mapababa yan, the Red Cross will bring down its cost to free health and its cost to everybody, which by the way, hindi naman kami naningil. Ang nagpapabilis lang nagpapavaccinate sa Red Cross, yun ang nagpapamadali. Kaya gusto na nauulan sa linya, pero kami linya doon, and they have to pay a premium for that. But in that, for the rest of the country, kung sila papasok doon, ako naniniwala, and I hope everybody agrees with me, the government must pay for the vaccines because hindi natin kaya sa Red Cross yan. Mauubos talaga tayo agad. But we are bringing down the cost of the vaccine, which we announced at the proper time. Secretary Duque, I want you to know that. Bababa rin ang pressure sa PhilHealth. Ganun na nga eh, mababa na nga eh, hindi pa rin nakakabayad. Pero okay lang. Pag binaba, siguro mas marami tayong magagamot lalo pag binabayan. So, to all of you, I thank, somebody called me and said, ang sarap manood sa inyo because all these senators are providing good questions and you're all working together to find a solution. Thank you to all of you, the minority floor leaders, Senator Lacson, Senator Marcos, Senator Risa, Senator Pia, and all the other senators for bringing experts here that we can have a healthy debate on. And thank you to our resource persons. Wendell, I know, and I haven't told you, I commiserated you, I hope you feel better soon. And of course, yung mga kasama natin dyan, hindi kayo kalaban. Ang kailangan kalaban lang kayo pagka kayo gagawa ng katiwala na makakasama sa ating bayan. And kailangan baguhin na natin ang ating pag-ugali sa pagsisilbi. So, we call the next hearing on 7th September at 10 a.m. In fact, I should make it 9:30. 9:30 please, 9:30 para mas maaga. And on that note, we thank you all. May God bless the Republic of the Philippines. Whatever is said here is said in the interest of our country. Thank you very much.
I think Duque is raising his hand, Mr. Chairman.
I thought he was going to take his oath as a member of the Red Cross. Oh, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, in addition to what Dr. Liacion presented, I just want to emphasize on two things. No? Number one, since our vaccination coverage, two-dose inoculation coverage is still relatively low at 80%. No? it is very important that we continue to adhere to our minimum public health standards of really masking and face shields and ventilation and social distancing, because all these measures have been proven to bring down the reproductive rate of COVID-19 and its variants. In fact, the slide that was shown by Dr. Liachon, that the herd immunity threshold increases when the R naught, as an example, is the Delta variant, R naught score is from 5 to 8. So, ang sinasabi ko, habang mababa pa ang ating inoculation, kaya pa din natin pababain itong R naught ng Delta variant, consistently adhering to the minimum public health standards. So this is very, very important reminder that I'd like to get across. No? So there have been studies to show that this Delta variant can be linked. This Delta variant can be defeated. No? But stressing the importance of minimum public health standards. So, yun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just want to say sa mga tao na nakikinig sa atin, kung noong 1916, 17, and 18, walang vaccination, wala na yan. No? Pero nakita nyo, nagmask lahat ng tao, nag-iingat din lahat ng tao, halos hindi na sila lumalabas sa mga panahon na yun. Milyon-milyon na namatay. Tumigil rin yung vaccine, yung ating mga. Meron tayo inaarap dito ng kakayanan natin. Talunin niya, sundin natin yung sinabi ng mga health authorities natin na mag-mask, maghugas ng kamay, mag-distancing, huwag tayo kumain sa way. Marami na kayo narinig niya. Pero sundin niyo lang yan. At saka, makukuha niyo yung vaccine, magpapavaccine kayo. Ang importante, magpapatest kayo kung saan pagkaramdam niyo. At huwag kayo gagamit. And I'm glad to ask the Secretary to do with this. Importante din sa testing talaga is yung accuracy. Hindi pwedeng porque mura, kakagatin natin, pero hindi naman totally accurate. But that matter, even the PCR is not totally accurate, pero yung pa rin ang gold standard. So, let's try to get the best of the best para sa ating mga kababayan. On that note, thank you all very much. And God bless the Republic of the Philippines. I salute all the senators. I salute all our guests, particularly those who told the truth. All of them practically told the truth. Except for a few not amazed. I'm sorry I have to say that. But maraming salamat sa inyo sa great mediation sa Senate at work here. Thank you very much. Mabuhay kayo lahat.